As you guys have probably noticed, we're still at the venue in Edmonton that we booked for the meeting. We really found out about 2 or 3 days ago that because of COVID, um, we can't meet in person. So you can see, I'm just going to lift up with my laptop. You can see every single one of the moguls. Give us a wave, everybody. Yeah, everybody's kind of like at their laptop sessions so that we can still facilitate our breakout rooms, which is awesome. And I'm feeling like keep your fingers crossed because we should be able to get back together in November if everybody behaves themselves and doesn't cough on each other. So everybody stay healthy and keep your fingers crossed. So let's get into a market update here. So I've got my nice welcome to Mogul Mastermind slide. Devin's already done some great introductory remarks. So thank you to Devin for being so awesome and offering to host this most monumentous evening. So let's talk about what everybody's talking about. Synovus, Husky, they're talking about laying off 25% reduction. That amounts to about 2,150 workers. So it's hot news, and it's got people worried for good reason. But I want to put this into perspective because the fact of the matter is lots of stuff happens all the time to impact the Alberta economy, and everybody loves a bad news story. So I'm just going to review some other bad news stories that we have combated in the last couple of years that everybody was worried would completely and utterly tank the economy, and then did it. So let's see here. Everybody thinks that we're a train going off the rails. Alberta is constantly doomed, Alberta is constantly in peril, and Alberta is constantly on the brink of collapse, as people often are concerned. And then what ends up happening is we don't collapse and we persevere forward and the market stays relatively stable. So this is all about a little bit of perspective. First thing, Donald Trump got elected. Oh my God. The world's going to end. North Korea is going to get nuked. They might nuke us first. Canada's screwed. He's going to build a wall, maybe on both sides of the border. The economy is going to collapse, and then it didn't. When the mortgage stress test came out, the mortgage stress test was supposed to be this massive hurdle, a derailing factor that was going to cause unbelievable pressure on the real estate market, collapse it, make it impossible for people to invest and buy houses. But then, in fact, it didn't. And then we tried to build a pipeline, and then we didn't build a pipeline, and then it took forever to build a pipeline, and then the pipeline got delayed, and our inability to have a pipeline was supposed to completely and utterly obliterate the Alberta economy, except that it didn't. So this is my point. 2,200 jobs does not an economy make. Put that into perspective. We're a province of pushing 4 million people. Losing 2,200 jobs, yes, they're oil jobs, but it's definitely not going to derail our entire economy. It's not gonna make things notably worse. It's not gonna make things collapse at the seams. Is it going to impact some people? Absolutely. Just like the stress test impacted some people. But this is not the harbinger of a catastrophic collapse of the Alberta economy, because the fact of the matter is we have already been diversifying our economy outside of the oil sector since oil dropped down to $20 a barrel in 2015. The writing's been on the wall for half a decade now, and all of the movers and shakers in Alberta have already started moving away from oil into manufacturing, into tech, into green technologies. So, it's big news, it's headlining news, but the old guard in Alberta is still very concerned about what happens in the oil industry. The fact of the matter is we've been moving away from the oil industry as our primary, one-trick pony for a while now. Let's talk about things that are going to come up over the next 6 months. We've got the CERB that's going to run out. We've got mortgage deferrals that's going to run out. This is probably going to have more of an impact, to be honest, than those oil jobs, because there's people who have become reliant on those funds, and when those funds are unavailable, it's going to impact the segment of society that relied on that. Now, when it comes to lower middle class, upper middle class, these aren't the people that are collecting CERB. These are typically people where $2,000 a month would have been higher than the money they would have been collecting anyways. So will some people be affected? Yes. Will all people be affected? No. We're going to be talking about the mechanics of foreclosures. But, I mean, I think there's a misconception here that we're going to see a unbelievable, undeniable wave of foreclosure properties hitting the market. Well, I'm going to let you in on two secrets that are maybe not so secret here. Number one, going into foreclosure is a little bit more tricky than I think most people realize. You have to not pay your mortgage for quite a long time before foreclosure proceedings happen. So for anybody who got used to the mortgage deferrals, if they just don't pay their mortgage and stop not paying their mortgage, it's still going to take in the ballpark of 4 to 6 months for these people to go into foreclosure. Part one. Part two, and also very important, is that the courts shut down during COVID and they are still not even remotely close to caught up. We just did a foreclosure deal where the court took 6 weeks to schedule the hearing to view the offers after the initial offer was sent to the lawyers. And it took about another 6 weeks for the final order to sale to be processed. So it was a 12-week turnaround from the offer to the actual final sale. Again, the courts are really backed up. So the wave of foreclosures that I think some of you guys are anticipating is going to be delayed, and it's going to be delayed in a big way. Another piece of perspective is I happened to ask myself, oh, how many properties are actually in foreclosure right now? I did a search for foreclosures. This is the Edmonton Real Estate Association portal to allow us to look at MLS. There's only 43 properties in foreclosure right now. Now, for those of you that are keen and interested in foreclosures, please drop us a note and say, hey, send me that foreclosure list. I want to see all the foreclosures. Yeah, no problem. We can send them to you. I'll email them to you. This is the only time I'm speaking. Devin's hosting a meeting, so I can send them to you while the meeting is going on. So send me a little private message using the chat feature saying, James, send me the foreclosure list. Send me your email. You got it. No problem. Here's what's going to affect the market right now more than anything else. The seasons. Edmonton is one of the most seasonally driven markets in the entire country. In the wintertime, our inventory drops. Prices soften, and there happens to be a much higher degree of motivated vendors and, savvy investors hop into the market and scoop deals. The flip side of the coin is in the spring, the market heats up and everybody thinks, oh my God, everything's fine and the market's finally coming back. This winter to spring rotation has been happening. It's a tale as old as time. And to kind of drive that point home, this is not a fancy graph that I made. That's why I kept the source credit at the bottom. Canadian Real Estate Association. If you go to the CREA website for market trends and stats and search Edmonton, this graph is right there front row center. So what are we seeing? Basically, since 2015, a very flat market kind of aligning with that 375 price point that fluctuates up in the summer, down in the winter, up in the summer, down in the winter, up in the summer, down in the winter, up in the summer, down in the winter. So what's going to happen this winter? It's going to drop again. And, some pundits are going to say, oh, it's the post-corona crash. And nope, that's just Edmonton's seasonal market. And then what's going to happen in the spring? Post-corona, optimism. Like, oh no, it's probably just spring in Edmonton. So you don't need to be a corona aficionado or a pipeline expert to know that great deals are available for investors in the winter and the market heats up in the spring. So for those of you who are thinking very intently about taking action, this winter is going to be a great time to buy because winter is always a great time to buy in Edmonton. And we've got the whole team here at Mogul geared up, ready to go to send you deals from distressed sellers, agreement for sale opportunities, and foreclosure opportunities. So don't be shy and reach out, because if you're the kind of person that wants to buy one deal a year, winter's the time to do it. These stats don't lie, my friends. So with that, I would encourage you to seek the opportunity. The thing about the old phrase, and this is something I'm stealing from Devin actually, because we were chatting at the office today. When they say buy low, sell high, the fine print on that is that when you buy low markets are ugly. Low markets look like people freaking out about jobs disappearing. Low markets look like uncertainty. Low markets look like people losing their jobs. Low markets look like the economy in peril. But that's the market you buy in. That's when you take the opportunity. So we are entering the opportunity phase, and this winter might be an extra beneficial buying opportunity because of some of these COVID factors. But yeah, it's deal time, people. I mean, this is what we live all year for in Mogul, is to help our clients, get some aggressive offers going over the winter time. So with that, the Mogul Power team's ready to help. We've got lawyers, we've got accountants, we got mortgage brokers, we got a guy. or a gal for everything you need. And of course, we have the most intense, aggressive, action-oriented realtors in the city in both markets, ready to help you guys out. So that's a quick market update. I can see lots of y'all are sliding in my DMs. Nope, nothing contentious. Just asking about foreclosures. Cool. That's all I get these days. Thanks, COVID. I'll hand it back over to Devin, and that's your Edmonton market update.
James, thank you very much. That was fantastic. And again, James has been a real estate agent for 15 years and certainly has seen a lot of Edmonton winters. And I'm glad that resonated with you, because I've certainly been chatting a lot about with some people about the Edmonton markets, buy low, sell high. And there are some people that are bailing on the market, and there's others. James, you've got one investor in particular that is going great guns. I think a couple of properties they purchased just in about a 6-week span. Is that not correct?
Yeah, that's right. And both of them, we went in, we wrote aggressively low offers. For those of you who are saying foreclosure list, please, you also need to send me your email. Otherwise, I won't know how to send it to you, by the way.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So we can definitely help you out. And December's a fun time at Mogul. We're very active because we see a lot of aggressive sellers that really just want to not go into the Christmas season still holding that property. So we're actually getting pretty excited about the opportunities. So, and thank you again, James, for talking about why we're in here, just the Mogul team. We were hoping to have some people here, but obviously we were shut down a little bit. And we're happy to have everybody on Zoom, as it allows everybody to well, just more people to join. And as I said at the outset, we've got over 250 people here. So we're going to move on, and I'm very much looking forward to this. I've actually got a buyer right now that is looking at a foreclosure home. So I am sure that she's on this Zoom call tonight to learn a little bit more about working with foreclosures.